30, and I want to be there to support people, and I want to be here. So we're going to do it differently. So I'm going to give the talk first. And our talk is we're focused on bodhisattvas. This is really, I can feel in my body. It's like I want to ring the bell. It's like there's something really wrong here. We can do this. I can do this. So we're focused on bodhisattvas and bodhisattva archetypes. And the first bodhisattva archetype that Taigen and Dan Layton and traditionally others bring forward is Shakyamuni Buddha. So I'm going to give about a 20-minute talk. And then I'm going to ring the bell. And then you all are going to sit like the Buddhas that you are. You're going to embody Shakyamuni Buddha. See how perfectly this whole thing works out? And, let me just do this piece.
And you're going to Santa Rosa.
And then I'm going to Santa Rosa. And Malcolm and Sherry are going to step in and ring the bell to end Zazen and to send everybody, all of us, except not me, out to do Kinhin. And then you all are, and I'm going to prep you a little bit, I get to do a discussion about Katagiri Roshi's Peaceful Life, which is a really beautiful description of living and being a Buddha right here in this very moment. And we do have a screen share for you guys on screen. So that's the plan, and we'll see what happens. I'm thinking it's kind of fun. I kind of like this team activity here. So I guess we should go around and say names. At least keep some things normal. Chris.
Burma.
Kyle.
Judith.
Malcolm.
Jen.
Jan.
Donna.
Sherry.
Jared.
Jill.
ML.
Laura.
Matthew.
Rachel.
And Julia, Deborah, Ann, Susan White, Ellen, Joe, and Sue Ann Crane, and Sally. See, they're all going to come in and wonder what in the world is happening, but that'll teach them to come late. Sorry. We're doing something different. Just follow along. Just hum along. Let's do the before lecture chant. An unsurpassed, penetrating, and perfect Dharma is rarely met with, even in 100,000 million kalpas. Having it to see and listen to remember and accept, I vow to taste the truth of the Tathagata's words. Well, now my body's feeling a little more settled. It's like, okay, there's a right way. We're doing this, right? Everything's fine. Shakyamuni Buddha. Oh, announcements first. May 31st, all day sitting at open sky. We're going to do a full moon ceremony. Please come. Way Seeking Mind talks. If you've not given one and you'd like to give one, let me know. I'm probably going to ask you anyway, so you might as well just kind of like say, wow, what a great idea. And anybody who hasn't given, I mean, if you feel like this is your Sangha and you're settled here, that's the invitation. And I'll say more about it later. And then I'm going to ask some people who have given talks before to bring us current with their practice life. And you can tell me if you're interested in that too. Okay, now back to Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha is the Buddha of this era. From the Shakya clan in India. The story is the story we were given, although we know that there are always stories within stories and around stories, is that there's just one Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and then he's emulated and held up. Oh, and on Thursday, I'm going to do Mahapajapati, because while she is not Buddha's stepmother and who raised him and was the first Buddhist nun, even if she's not held up as a traditional Bodhisattva, one of the big archetypes, she is for me. So I'm going to bring her forward. We'll do that on Thursday. Today, Shakyamuni Buddha. If we have done some of that here, if we look a little deeper at the text and what's given to us, the Jataka tales are all the stories of Buddha's lifetime before he was a Buddha, a Bodhisattva waking up to be a Buddha, like all of us. And he was a monkey, and he was a parrot, and he did all kinds of wild and confused and helpful things, and they're great stories and they're fun. They're sort of like fables. And then we learned, because we've also studied here the Lotus Sutra, that there was a big turning point in the history of Buddhism where everybody said there was just one Buddha. And then all of a sudden in the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha says, sorry, guys, that was just skillful means. And there have been Buddhas across time and space. There always has been, and there always will be. And the story is that the monks, I think it was probably mostly, well, monks and nuns will say, there were the 500 of them were so upset by this news because he was changing the storyline, just that's the theme here, that they got up and walked out. It's like, you told us one thing and now you're changing the story. But the Lotus Sutra just expands to what the Buddha says is always true, is there are Buddhas in every molecule, there are Buddhas, there's no beginning and no end to this. And each one of us is a Buddha, our true nature. Everything is Buddha. The entire world is Buddha's body. And that's the Avatamsaka Sutra. And anyway, I think we have a little bit of a feeling of the breadth and depth of this. But for today, Shakyamuni Buddha. So in the beginning, after Shakyamuni Buddha's enlightenment, and I'm going to I want to pay attention to time, there wasn't a figure like, we're used to a Buddha with, with crossed arms and nice little smile, and it was his footprint on the earth, which I really like. It was the Dharma wheel, and the Bodhi tree was often offered as a symbol of the Buddha, and then only later did it turn more into a human form. I also want to, because I want to get this in here because I like it, I love this Buddha that has a Naga, because I love the story of the Naga, because it's so earth. So the story is the Naga is a snake that lives down in the water. There's so much stuff about the underworld in Buddhism, that suddenly arises to the surface. So deeply connected to the earth and to nature and to, one might say, the unconscious. And what is it that's down below, that when we breathe, we're breathing? I love the Tibetans. I was taught that one of the ways the Tibetans teach about breath is that you do an eternity symbol between the belly and then up into the heart and around and down. It's a whole, I can't really do it, but I love the image of it, is that it's earth and sky. So the Naga comes up out of the water. And I realized today for the first time that this Naga has a name. Do you want to know the Naga's name?
Yes.
I had to look, sir. I was so delighted. I thought, how did I never know that the Naga had a name? This particular one is Musalinda, who is the king of the serpents, who emerged from the earth, coiled his body 7 times around the Buddha to keep him warm, because there was a 7-day storm when the Buddha sat down and said, I'm here to wake up with everybody. And I think we know enough of the story that Mara came at him and the whole, through the whole, all the problems and everything and all the temptations and the rain poured. And this was not like Buddha didn't just say, I'm here to save all beings, and everybody went, hooray. It's like the whole world went, who do you think you are? Well, anyway, Mara did. But the Naga was there to protect him, keep him warm, and spread his large seven-headed hood over him to act as a canopy. So if you haven't ever looked at this Buddha, just take a look at it sometime. And these are the coils down here. So it's completely held in this coiled Naga snake. And the Nagas are said to hold, was another story, but that they hold the Dharma treasures down under the earth, under the water. They're the guardians. Maybe we'll do Nagas sometime. So the archetype of Shakyamuni Buddha as a Buddha, the Buddha of this era, has 5 fundamental characteristics. At least this is what the experts say. You may have other ideas. We'll find out. First one is he made a choice early on between a worldly existence. He was royalty and could be a king and could have had, he could have been head of a tech company and done all kinds of wonderful things, or he could have followed his innermost yearning to, he saw suffering and said, I want to end suffering. I want to wake up. There's something going on here that I need to understand. So he made a choice that was his path and gave up his worldly existence and left home, which I'll say something about in a minute more. So the second one is that bodhicitta, that caring impulse, which I did a guided meditation on Thursday. If you're interested, I sort of went off from Pema Chodron guided meditation, that bodhicitta, the quivering of the heart, the tenderizing of the heart of caring, is that when that ignites, you can't turn away anymore. You just know I mean, we all get distracted. We all have had very winding paths, and I'm sure we will continue to in the world because we all have our karmic inclinations. But something knows we want to understand and we want to wake up. So that's the second one. Third one is then, once you know that, and again, this isn't linear, there is this really deep impulse to want to leave home in the sense of leaving our conditioned patterns. I want to wake up in the midst of this delusion and this confusion. And I know for me, and probably for all of us, a lot of that arises it arises out of our culture, it arises out of the time and the era that we arose in, and it arises out of my family of origin. A lot of this was about rebellion, or at least get me out of here. And something caught me that just said, yeah, keep trusting this impulse, and then the path arises. So the fourth one is, so when Buddha first left home, he followed the traditions of the time, which he tried lots of different schools and followed different teachers, but it was very ascetic and very flagellating and self-deprecating, and he almost died. Which I think would probably, I can certainly find that part of me that just thinks we're going to get out of this by tightening up somehow, or some impulse that doesn't feel kind or generous as a way to not turn away from my own suffering, not to mention the suffering out there. So the great thing about the story of the Buddha, and I'm kind of doing this in shorthand, and I think many of you know the story, is that he's almost starving, and he's almost died. There's very poignant statues, and we have a tanka at home of Buddha just emaciated, and then a milkmaid offers him, well, some say milk. Some say rice pudding. I know numerous people, including my husband, who travel the world looking for just the right rice pudding. There's something archetypal about this. We went to New York City once, and there was a whole store that sold nothing but rice puddings. No, it's for real. It was like an ice cream store. And it was just like, talk about having found nirvana. Is like, we had to try all of them. Anyway, but Buddha didn't have that, but a really generous, warm, kind woman said, "What are you doing? Here, let me help you." And of course, it's the feminine, it's not a woman, and so Buddha discovered the path of the middle way. This isn't about austerities, and it's not just about, drinking beer and being crazy in the world. So what is this path of the middle way? I think that's a really good and ongoing question for all of us. And the fifth one is that in the midst of all of this, and when Buddha sat down under the Bodhi tree, this deep resolve and this deep vow, this deep earth touching, is I vow to wake up with and for all beings. And the story is that some say the earth goddess or Pravithi and there actually is in the San Francisco, I think it's the Asian Art Museum, there are images of this hand coming up from under the earth, touching his hand touching the earth and affirming him. And this one of the stories says, and the earth shook like a joyful woman. I just love that. It's like everybody just got so happy. It's like, oh, a human being finally decided to stop and sit down and to give their lives to waking up with and for everybody. So to me, that story, which was just a story, now becomes, it's my life. I think it's all of our lives, and in whatever way, you wouldn't be here if this story wasn't your life. But then what's it look like? And how's it manifest? Because it's not going to look the same in each person. What's important in this tradition and in Zen, I don't know enough about the other transmission or it's not ordinate, well, it's transmission, but it's ordination stories, is that the very first story is between Shakyamuni Buddha and Mahakashapa. And the story very simply is Shakyamuni Buddha holds up a flower and twirls it. And in all the congregation, Mahakashapa was the one who smiled. It's like something happened between them that wasn't special. It was just it was just like a twirling of a flower, but somehow Mahakashapa's heart mind was just open and ready, and something happened, which I think happens. I think the world is like, it can be a flower blowing in the wind, or a bird song, or just some kind of transmission that's happening from the world that it's like, oh, I got it. Of course, then you forget it. But I also think in those moments, your cellular structure changes, it opens, begins to just remember its place in the world. And Suzuki Roshi said, that's one of my favorite segments, the way he talked about this is warm hand to warm hand, is that this practice is relational. It's all about good spiritual friends and of meeting in this place that we all know is true. And that's how we help each other. And of course, we also meet each other in our delusions. And that's why we need Sangha, because when I'm in my warm hand to warm hand place and you're in your deluded place, is like, but when I'm in my deluded place and it's like popcorn. We just help each other. That's the way I think about it. So I think what I'm going to do. Katagiri Roshi wrote, it was in our lineage, he was one of the teachers that Suzuki Roshi invited over to help him teach and start San Francisco Zen Center. Wrote a very beautiful thing, simple, called Peaceful Life, which is a description of Shakyamuni Buddha's, the path of living as a Buddha, but it's very kind of ordinary and mysterious and everyday. And it has, I realized, each of the 5 steps. It has kind of choosing, it has an arising of bodhicitta, it has a leaving home in the sense of wanting to know how to live in the world with people. It has a sense of the middle way of, I don't know how to do that, but I'm here. And a sense of vow. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what you're going to do. Now I'm going to ring the bell. You're going to sit, and I'm going to read Peaceful Life while you're sitting. And then I'm going to take my peaceful life off to the Board of Supervisors, because I think that's where this Bodhisattva impulse is drawn to be. You'll sit for a half an hour as Buddhas. This will be your encouragement. Sherry and Malcolm will ring the bell. We'll guide you out to Keenheen, and then when you come back, you can talk about any or all of this, but with a focus on Peaceful Life, Katagiri Roshi's. And we'll put it up on screen for you guys when we come back, okay? You guys have them here, but all you have to do now is sit, okay? For the rest of your lives. Wherever you are. What is this sitting right in the midst of it all? Being told that it is impossible, one believes in despair. Is that so? Being told that it is possible, one believes in excitement. That's right. But whichever is chosen, it does not fit one's heart neatly. Being asked what is unfitting, I don't know what it is, but my heart knows somehow. I feel an irresistible desire to know what a mystery human is. As to this mystery, clarifying, knowing how to live, knowing how to walk with people, demonstrating and teaching. This is the Buddha. From my human eyes, I feel it's really impossible to become a Buddha. But this I, regarding what the Buddha does, vows to practice, to aspire, to be resolute, and tells myself, yes, I will. Just practice right here, now, and achieve continuity endlessly, forever. This is living in vow. Herein is one's peaceful life found. Yes, I will. Might be your mantra during this sitting. Your mind wanders, you get distracted. Come back to breath, and if you want, you can bring yourself back with, yes, I will.